Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this webinar. We're just going to give it a couple of seconds here to before we start with the presentation so that people can join. All right, perfect. So once again, thank you so much for joining our session. Today, we'll be taking a deep dive onto the PTE test and the newer PTE Academic Online tests as well. But first of all, let's cover some housekeeping. So this webinar will last approximately 30 minutes with 15 minutes of added Q&A. If you have any questions for us, please submit them via the Q&A chat box, and we'll do our best to answer them in a timely manner. So PTE Academic. So PTE has been a leader in language testing. It is the world's first fully computer-based test that uses artificial intelligence to provide unbiased and secure results for test takers' English proficiency skills. It is accurate given the computer-based marking that ensures impartial marks, and the integrated task allows the test to test more than one language skill, but actually doing a combination of the necessary skills for the test taker, and is relevant using genuine academic content integrated into every single task, and the use of artificial intelligence removes the potential human error or the human bias from the examiners. It has multi-layer security, and it's completely digital end-to-end, providing accessibility and security. And overall, it is more convenient given that the booking journey for the test taker can be made up to 24 hours in advance. We test 365 days a year, and has the fastest result turnover in the market, with 85% of results being available within 48 hours of test completion. And continuing on convenience, the test is also delivered in one single session, removing the need for the candidate to present themselves in more than one occasion to the test. It is recognized around the world. Here in North America, in the US, it's recognized by over 1,000 institutions, including important schools such as Harvard Business School and Yale, and is also recognized by the Fulbright Scholarship Program. Here in Canada, it is recognized by over 200 institutions, including 13 of the U15 universities, Canadian universities of research. In the rest of the world, in the UK, it is recognized by 99% of the universities and for all UK visas, as well as Australia and New Zealand. It is also recognized by all the universities and all visas for those governments. It is also recognized in wider Europe and a growing number of Southeast Asian countries. We're also, as I mentioned before, we're also going to be introducing PTE Academic Online, which is a convenient and reliable at-home testing solution. And it's powered by OnView, which is Pearson's remote proctoring and secure testing software. They are the experts in online test delivery. We've delivered over 2 million online proctored exams. And of course, with the pandemic, the online delivery has increased by over 300%. And the trend continues to grow to this day. And the basics as a snapshot of the test, the PTE Academic Online, it is identical to the PTE Academic. The content, the exam content, and the difficulty, it is exactly the same. The testing is available in most of the PTE locations worldwide, and the test fee it is the same as the test center delivered test. So whatever the test fee is in the test center in any given country, the online test fee will be exactly the same. Up until this point, PTE Academic Online, it is not yet accepted by governments for visa applications. In terms of the assessment, comparing side by side the online version on the test version, the test center version, as you can see, the test content, test duration, it is exactly the same. There's only a difference in the test delivery model, in which in the test center, the test is delivered in a test center approved computer, and all of the collaterals are provided by the test center, the headsets and the whiteboards, and all the collateral accessible to the candidate are provided by the test center, as opposed to on the online version, the test is delivered on their own computer, and they can also use their own headset. The test taker journey will provide an opportunity to the candidate their um, to test their hardware within the testing environment. In terms of the test taker journey, as you can see, there are several tests available in the test center, and the online version right now, there's only PTE Academic Online. The test center network is available worldwide, and for the online version, there are some exceptions such as China. And in terms of support, given that in the test center there is on-site support, on the online version there's a dedicated on-view live chat for troubleshooting, and there's different layers of communication with the human proctor. So there's a dedicated proctor that will walk the candidates through the test and intervene if there's a need. If there's a need, or if the proctor feels that there's a need to intervene during the test. There are no breaks, and breaks can only be requested in advance with medical exceptions. The accommodations on the online version, however, allow to do some adjustments to the interface and to the size on the browser control. However, there are, as the same as the test center test, there are no breaks. In terms of the requisites or the requirements for sitting the test, or the online test, there must be acknowledgement from the student, from the candidate, that the destination institutions approve the online test. And there also has to be an appropriate distracted-free environment, and the equipment, computer, internet, webcam, headset, all needs to be functional and verified through the pre-testing hardware test, which is provided within the journey. In terms of what resources are available to prepare for PTE Academic Online, the test takers have the same results available as they have for PTE Academic. They are free step-by-step video guides that detail every single aspect of the test. And in addition, there is an introduction to PTE manual that provides a detailed guide with an expert to understand how the test works and how is it marked. And there's also an online scored practice test, which is an identical mock-up of the actual test that allows the student to complete the test and have a report of completion within 20 minutes of after their completion. In terms of additional resources that are available for the test takers on to prepare, there is a PTE app that prioritizes key practice tasks. and it has a streamline of activities that the student can focus on to study. There is a practice question bank with over 300 PTE academic questions and sample responses explained on a structured way. This helps test takers to build their potential skill set to better mark the test. And of course, there are available course books in local test centers, as well as online courses and courses that can be booked through um, the local Pearson test centers. One of the most important aspects for the PTE Online is why would a student or why would somebody take PTE Online over the PTE test center, um, over the test center option. Um, Currently, as you might well know, the pandemic has basically redrawn the way that secure testing is delivered, and with a lot of test centers that are closed or centers that are inaccessible or candidates that have genuine medical restrictions from accessing a public venue, online is the best option. However, there are some considerations that need to be made prior to selecting the test. Next slide, please. In the PTE Online, there are still additional layers of security added by artificial intelligence, as well as human input throughout the tests. The identity checks are carried out by artificial intelligence and supported um, by a check-in process that's surveyed by a human proctor. This proctor has the ability to communicate with the test takers and to intervene in case of any suspicious activity. And these activities are also reviewed because the entire test is recorded and it can be reviewed and scores can be held or revoked if there is any fraudulent activity done during the test. There are no breaks as in the standard test, and the proctors and readers are assigned randomly throughout the world. As you can see here, the security comparison between the online version and the test centers in online the online version as difference because the human component is being remotely delivered. The check-in process is overseen by a remote proctor, and there's an ID picture that has to be taken by the candidate and then corroborated by the proctor. During the test, there's human monitoring supported by artificial intelligence. Webcam records the entire process of the test. There's a lockdown browser on the test taker's machine, and there are no breaks as in the standard test. After the test, there is a manual hold of the scores until the test is scores are released and the process is reviewed. As I've mentioned before, and it's really important that this is highlighted, the PTE Academic Online, it is identical. It is the same test as the test that is delivered in the test center. It is 2 hours in duration. It is scored in the same way. And the only difference is that in the score report, there will be an indication that the test was delivered on an online format. As I mentioned before, it is important for the test taker to evaluate why would they choose uh, sitting the test online on their home as against taking the test on the test center. And basically, there are three considerations that need to be made prior to selecting PTE Online. The most important one is that the institution that you're applying for has to recognize PTE Online. And secondly, you have to have the right equipment and have the adequate environment for taking the test. That's mainly the considerations that need to be made prior to selecting PTE Online.
Thank you, Jesus. So I'm going to just walk you through the testing process and what you have to expect if you're planning to take the PTE Academic Online exam anytime soon. In terms of the test taker experience, like Jesus has mentioned, because it's administered online, we would require that you have a quiet and private location for the duration of the test, which is approximately 2 hours. And you also would need to have a reliable computer with a webcam, because you will be doing the test at home or at your office. The equipment won't be provided to you, so you would have to use your own equipment, and the test would be recorded throughout the entire session. So you have to make sure that you have the compatible software, whether you're using a laptop or PC. You need to make sure that you do have a working equipment. A wired headset, wireless headset won't work. So you have to make sure that you have a wired headset, and also it meets the standards. And if you have any specific, if you need to check the specific standards, you can visit the PTE website and check it from there. Also, we obviously encourage you to have the strong internet connection that won't give you any disruptions during the examination, not to jeopardize your scores. And also, like Jesus has mentioned earlier, the exam will run on the OnView software, and you would need to download the software, run it, and take the exam on this software. Now, some systems might not be compatible with the OnView. So that's why we recommend you to check the compatibility and run the system check before you actually go ahead and make the booking of the exam and make your payment, just to avoid any hassle. Now, in terms of the actual booking and the test taking process, it is done on my PTE account. So you would need to visit the PTE Academic Online website to create your My PTE account and schedule the test. Like we mentioned, it's available all throughout the year, and you can book the exam 24 hours in advance. What happens after the test is booked? So once you book the exam and make the payments there, you will receive an email on the email address that you registered in the system with the appointment. On the test date, you would need to log into my PT account, and you will find actually the test appointment in your dashboard. We recommend you to log in 30 minutes prior to the exam start time. If you do log in a little earlier, like you can see here in this in the picture, the begin exam button will be grayed out, so you won't be able to access the exam page. So you'd have to wait until you have 30 minutes left prior to the test time. Once the time has approached, you basically log in, and you will download the OnView testing software, if you have downloaded before, which we strongly recommend, then you can launch the application and start the check-in process. All the other softwares will be locked out, so to avoid to basically to make sure that you are not able to access any other software, any other materials while doing the exam. And the system will actually give you the warning if there's any software that is running on your laptop that is actually creating issues for the OnView to launch. In terms of the actual check-in process, so like we mentioned, there will be, in addition to the artificial intelligence, there will be a human greeter and proctor who will be monitoring the entire exam. And there are a number of very simple check-in steps. First of all, the system check, like I mentioned earlier, we make sure that your webcam is working to record the session. We make sure that your microphone is working because you will be doing the speaking portion as well during this one exam. It's a one single test. And we also do the ID check. So when it comes to ID checks, you have to take a selfie of yourself, which actually will appear on the test report, and upload it. You would need to register your phone number. You also would have to take a picture of your government issued ID. It could be driving license, national identification number card, or the passport. And also you would need to click a picture of your surrounding to make sure that you are in the environment which actually meets the test requirements. Then once the pictures are submitted, you would have to wait for the proctor to review all this information in order to allow you to sit for the exam. It would take around 15 minutes, and once everything is approved, then you would be allowed to begin the test. You cannot begin the test before the actual test time, so you'd have to wait if there's a little more time left there. While taking the test, you are not allowed to take any breaks unless it has been pre-approved. So if you have any medical conditions which actually would require to take some break, then you have to put in a request in advance at the time of booking. And if that has been approved, then you can take your break, approved break. No standing or leaving during the test. You have to remove all the smart devices from your test taking area, including the smartwatches. And we are very strict when it comes to such things as having extra unnecessary items on your desk. You have to make sure that the environment is clean of any disruption and it meets the test requirements. Personal items also have to be out of reach. You can keep a glass of water next to you if you require one, and everything else has to be basically removed. No other people can enter the testing space while you're taking the exam. And if you have any questions during the test, then you would have the OnView live chat to speak to the proctor and to fix your issues. If you have any internet connectivity issues or any kind of troubleshooting request, then you can use the OnView live chat. What happens if the internet fails? Your test will stop, the exam timer will stop, and you would have a chance to fix the internet connection and come back to the same spot where you left off the exam. So you have a chance to continue. And in terms of the actual score reports, we deliver within 48 hours the results of your PT. Usually it's basically sent to we send you an email saying that your PT is available on your MyPT account. Reports will clearly indicate this is a PT online test and not the one which is taken at the test center. We also mention the location, the exact location of the test, and the education providers such as universities and colleges to who you're reporting your scores would actually have the ability to check your scores through the SRW website. So as you can see, now actually I'm gonna compare the PT Academic and the PT Online reports here so that you can see the main difference. Now the PT Academic appears on the blue banner, the first one here, and we provide you down here the test center information with this test center ID. In case of PT Academic Online, we clearly mention that it's PT Academic Online. It appears in the purple banner, and you would then see further information on where the test has been taken, PT Academic Online, and whether it was taken at home or at office. And for the test receiving institutions, they would be able to verify and receive your scores through the SRW account. There are a number of universities that we could actually fit in this slide that are accepting PT Academic Online, but the list is longer than this. We are working now closely with many universities and colleges and government regulatory authorities right now in Canada to make sure that the PT Academic Online is recognized. And if you have any specific questions, if you're applying for a specific university, then you would need to reach out to them and inquire if they do accept PT Academic Online. If you want to learn more about the test, please visit our website. You can also make the booking there. And if you have any further questions, or generally, we recommend you to follow us on the social media platforms as well. Thank you for joining us today. Do we have any questions?
Yes. great presentation. We do have a couple of questions in the chat, so I can read those out loud. You can go through those. So there's one question: how is this exam different than the Duolingo English proficiency test?
Jesus, would you like to take this question?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So the Duolingo, there are some various differences in terms of the test delivery model with the Duolingo test. To mention a few, the PTE test is entirely recorded and proctored by a single proctor, as a difference in Duolingo. One proctor is monitoring different test sessions at any given point. And the test delivery model itself, it is different. The interview component in Duolingo is recorded and is marked as a separate component, and in Pearson PTE, it's all integrated within one single test sessions and one single task. But mainly, the main difference relies on the security layer for PTE is increased by a dedicated proctor for every single test taker.
I think we also have a couple more questions here about the test validity. So it's valid for 2 years, just like the other exams, like IELTS, TOEFL, and Duolingo. And the test, how much is the test? So it depends really on where you're located, and we recommend you to visit the PTE website. You can pull out the list of test centers available in your city or in your country. And get the exact price there in your local currency.
Yes, whatever the price is in the test centers, it will be also for the test online fee. I believe I saw questions as to how to apply or how to register for the test. If you go directly onto the PTE Online website, you will be able to book the test. There's a dedicated website there. You can book the test, and you will be prompted to create a My PTE account, which will allow you to manage your test session and your pre-session details.
Do other countries like United States and United Kingdom accept PT? Yes, yes, they do. Again, for UK, because Jesus and I look after Canada, but for UK, I think they do have the UKVI version as well, which is valid for visa application. And you would need to check in with the UK team for that. But yes, we are accepted all around the world, including UK and US. But again, for someone who's taking the test, we would recommend you check in with the specific university you're applying for, because the university has individual requirements in terms of what they accept, what not. We actively, like we mentioned, engaging with the universities all around the world to get the PTE Academic accepted, and we already have a very good network of PTE recognizing institutions. So our advice is to check in with your university, and if they do not recognize PTE Online, then you could also approach them saying, I do want to plan to take the PTE Online. Is there any chance that you could recognize this specific test result?
Yeah, it is really important that for the student, for the test taker, to verify with the destination institutions, because it might be the case that they accept the PTE Academic, but they not yet accept the PTE Online. So it is really important that before any application or before selecting any test, it is important that you check with the university that they actually accept PTE Online.
I think we have a couple questions off the topic. I still want to just answer them. Did they have any difficulties with my religion? Not at all. Canada is a very open country for all religious beliefs. So, if you get a chance to study here or live here, I think that'll be a blessing. People are very friendly and very accommodating. So, no, I personally didn't face any issues. Did we cover everything?
I believe so. I don't have any I don't have any more questions here on my feed. I don't know if we've left any unanswered questions. Does anybody have any additional questions? We'll be happy to answer. We still have some time. All right. I guess. However, if you would ever require more information, please, and if you have time to step over our virtual booth, there's several resources there. You will find the frequently asked questions guide and the test taker handbook. There's plenty of useful information there, and you can always go to the PTE website if you require more information prior to making the decision on applying and using the PTE exam. We'll be more than happy to help. And yes, well, I believe thank you so much for the attention. If there's anything else, great to have you. And yes, thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.